Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Today I'm really excited. It's been a little bit since I've posted a vlog, and I've really been entrenched in the end of the school year. This has been a fun process for me to start creating a vlog and try to post videos frequently, but it's a challenge. As a middle school principal, our time is stretched very thin sometimes, and to be honest, we have to put things on the back burner. But this has been something this year that's been important to me. It's something I want to sort of get back to over the summer and hopefully continue throughout next year. So today I'm excited to talk about the hiring and interview process and sort of some of the approaches we take when it comes to hiring and interviewing. I remember thinking, after one interview we conducted a couple years ago when we were hiring, in my head it was screaming, that person must work in our school. I was so excited after this person had left the interview that that's all that I can think about. And after that time, it became something that has stuck with me. That every time we go to hire someone, I want that feeling again. I want that feeling that I'm so excited that this person is going to be in our school, adding value to our school and our team and our kids. And that was sort of going to be one of the lenses that I used when we were deciding whether or not to move a candidate forward or recommend them for hire. So I feel like that's a really important thing to think about, and really helps you not to ever settle on a candidate if you're not completely happy or excited about them. So I know it's summertime, it's interview season for a lot of people. We're filling positions from retirees, if you're lucky enough to be adding staff. But with that certainly comes challenges. And as I found in the interview process, when it comes to hiring staff, we certainly do paper screenings. There are computer programs, algorithms, but none of them are enough to really find the best people. We learn much more about people when we sit down with them and have a conversation. We need to know about their attitude, their guiding philosophies, what motivates them, and that certainly can't be done through just screening resumes, cover letters, and other application materials. So one of the things that I think is really important and something we do is we've added some questions that really focus on trying to get to the root of people's attitudes and personalities. That are so important. It's such an important part of the job we do. We want people to be flexible. We want them to be energetic. We want teachers who also see themselves as leaders and filling in leadership positions. So in order to do that, we need to make sure that we have interview questions that reflect those factors. And one of the things we had to do a couple of years back was redo our interview questions and make sure we were including things that gave us some insight into personality, attitude, and guiding philosophies, such as what leadership roles do you help to fill in our school? Or as an addition or an alternative to that, one of the questions we have used has been, if I were to ask you in the first month you're here at our school, what professional development session will you be able and willing to lead for our teachers? Please share that with us. And really what we're looking for is, what are they passionate about? What do they feel confident about adding to our staff and adding value? And I feel like that's important. Those things like attitude, motivation, determination, leadership, they're really important intangibles in some ways, and we need to look for ways through our interview process, whether that's through a formal interview or some other activities or lessons that we have, can have teachers teach, that we're doing that we're finding ways to gain insight into those really important areas. And that's important when we're going through our process. The other thing I think is really important to remember is, when you're hiring, you're building a team. And building a team is really difficult. There's a lot of things to take into consideration. For sake of clarity, teams exist in our building at the teacher level, but they could also exist at the central office level, at the administrative level, and each have their own set of roles and responsibilities, but it's important in the process to make sure you find the best candidate. So one of the things we do when building a team, we sometimes look for people that are just like us. Do they fit our culture? And in some ways that's okay, but in some ways I want to sort of push you to rethink it a little bit. People who have a similar set of beliefs is important. We want their educational philosophies to align with ours, certainly. And we want them to be a good fit in that way. However, if we're in a situation where we're saying that person's just like us, they fit in perfectly, I think that may be cause for some hesitation. Because a candidate who fits perfectly on your team, in some ways, may not always be the right candidate. One of the things we found to be really important when we evaluate staffing needs is to think about our interdisciplinary teams and even grade levels to some extent, and think about what could they benefit from adding, and then use that as an additional lens when we're interviewing candidates. What value can they add to the team? How will this person lead our team forward? And I think that's really important to think about, because we want people that push us, that challenge us. And we want different members of a team to bring different things to the table. And that's the beauty of having a team. You don't necessarily need everybody to be strong in the same one thing. You need people to be strong in different things. And that's, I think, important and sometimes forgotten when we're interviewing candidates. And especially I found teachers want to find people that fit perfectly with them. But then there's other teachers, and certainly me as an administrator, we want people that are a little bit different in a good way. Again, philosophies align, but they're different maybe in their areas of strength. And I think that's important. And I think in order to move your team forward, you need that as well. So when filling position, it's certainly to be self-aware. It's important to be self-aware about your needs, your strengths, and your weaknesses. And I think it's also important to have conversations with your interview team and committee. So when we sit down with our teachers who might be a part of our interview committee, we do share that. We say, what areas do you want to improve on as a team, we may ask. Or here are some areas that I feel we may look for strengths in a candidate that may bring value to your team. So again, finding the right fit in philosophy and general beliefs is important, but also you need people that are maybe not exactly like everybody on the team in terms of strengths. So that's how you move your organization forward, and that's really helped us. So those are just some things that I think about during the hiring and interview process that hopefully can add some value and at least some perspective for you if you're going through that process. If you're a new administrator, if you're a teacher that's on an interview committee, first of all, having that lens, what we need, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, and then also identifying aside from the instructional strategies and strengths, what are those other intangibles we want our candidates to display, and how do we get that out of our hiring process? Again, whether it's interview or otherwise, how do we get to those core things we know are so important through our hiring process? And if they are important, we have to find a way, or else we're going to wind up with candidates that may not be ideal for us or may not be the best. So those are the thoughts I have for today. I really appreciate you listening. If you found that value in this video or any of my videos, I hope that you subscribe and follow along as I continue sort of to document my journey as an educational leader, my thoughts, insights, things I've learned, mistakes I've made. So I really hope you follow along and wish you a great day.
Yeah.